Hello everybody. In the present lecture, let us discuss the last theorem on the convergence of infinite product, which states that after it we shall discuss the absolute convergence of infinite product. So the statement of this theorem is as if the series summation n square is divergent and the series summation n is convergent or oscillates between finite limits, then the product thus pi 1 plus n and varies from 1 to infinity diverges to 0. One thing come in mind that when summation n is convergent, then summation n square must be convergent, as we did this result earlier in chapter 3. Okay, but in chapter 3 the result was for positive term series, that summation n, if it is convergent and n is a positive term series, then summation n square is always convergent. Okay, but in this case it is not mentioned that an is a positive term series, so it may possible that summation n is convergent but summation n square is divergent, right? Because summation n is not necessarily a positive term series. So what we are given that this is divergent and summation n is convergent or oscillates between finite limits, you have to show this product is divergent. Okay, and also diverges to 0. Now we know that the convergence or divergence of the infinite product depends upon the sequence of partial products, right? Where Pn is what? Pn is the product of first n factors 1 plus a1, 1 plus a2 up to 1 plus an. Now the product can be converted into series with the help of logarithm. So by taking logarithm, log of Pn is log of 1 plus a1 plus log of 1 plus a2 up to log of 1 plus an. Now we will expand this factor log of 1 plus an with the help of Taylor's theorem with Lagrange form of remainder after two terms. Okay. Now Taylor's theorem with Lagrange form of remainder after two terms states that if f is a continuous and differentiable function in the interval a comma a plus h, then you can expand f of a plus h as f of a plus h into f prime a plus h square by 2 factorial f double prime a plus theta h. This term as a whole is a remainder after two terms. Here theta is any real number lying between 0 and 1. Now keeping this in mind, we can expand. If f of x I can take as log x, okay, then f prime x is 1 by x, f double prime x is 1 by x square. Here prime represent the first order derivative and double prime represent the second order derivative. Okay, now what we have to calculate is log of 1 plus n. So putting over here with the help of Taylor's theorem with log of 1 plus an, it is f of 1 plus an into f prime 1 plus an square by 2 factorial f double prime a plus theta h. Here I have taken a as 1 and h as an. A as 1, f of 1 plus an, where f is log of x, right? So a is taken as 1 and h is taken as an. So it is f double prime 1 plus theta into an. Now f of 1 is log 1, which is 0. F prime 1 is 1 by 1, which is 1. F double prime a plus theta h, f double prime 1 plus theta into an. So f double prime 1 plus theta into an is minus 1 upon 1 plus theta into an whole square. Now using all these values into this expression, we will get log of 1 plus an as 0 plus an into 1 plus an square by 2 factorial f double prime is minus 1 upon 1 plus theta into an whole square. Okay, now you can take this into the on the right hand side and this on the left hand side. We'll get an minus log of 1 plus an as an square by 2 factorial as 2 into 1 plus theta into an whole square. This is suppose 1. Now we make this type of expression. What is this type of expression? As it is very clear that this is positive an square 2 1 plus c, this is also whole square, so all of the quantities on the right hand side are non-negative, so this term can be taken as positive. Okay, an minus log of 1 plus n, you can take this expression as positive. It means this expression is also positive expression, right? Now see, we know that this series summation n, you are given that it is either convergent or oscillates between finite limit, and you know that every convergent when the series is convergent, then its limit of its nth term is 0. That means the sequence an is convergent, or and when it oscillates between finite limit, then this oscillates between finite limit. So every convergent sequence is bounded. Okay, see, series is convergent implies this sequence is convergent to 0. So it means this sequence is bounded. And if it oscillates between finite limits, then it also oscillates between finite limit, and in that case even it is bounded. So you can say that sequence an is bounded in both of the cases, and it implies there exists a positive real number k such that modulus of n is less than k for all n. Now see, theta is a number lying between 0 and 1. Now 1 plus theta into n, this is less than 1 plus n because theta is less than 1. Okay, so theta into n is less than n, and this quantity is less than equal to 1 plus modulus of n because n is less than equal to modulus of n, and this quantity is less than 1 plus k because modulus of n is less than k. Okay, from here I can say that 1 plus theta into n whole square is less than 1 plus k whole square. Okay, now it implies 1 upon 1 plus theta into n square is greater than 1 upon 1 plus k whole square. Okay, this is number 2. Now using this 2 into 1, from this 2 can be used into 1, we'll get n minus log of 1 plus n, this is greater than n square by 2 into 1 plus k whole square. Okay, now k is a fixed positive number, 1 is a number, 2 is a fixed number. Overall you can say that n minus log of 1 plus n. Okay, this is greater than some constant m into an square. M is equal to 1 by 2 into 1 plus k whole square. This is a constant, right? Now if I see, this is a positive term, as and term on the right hand side is positive, and positive number, the number any number which is greater than a positive number is also positive. So this is a positive quantity, right? So if I consider the series on the both sides are positive term series, so I can use the comparison test. First form, okay, you are given that this is divergent, summation an square n varies from 1 to infinity, you are given it is divergent. So by comparison test first form, if the series on the lower side is divergent, then the series on the bigger side is also divergent. It implies that summation an square n varies from 1 to infinity, an minus log of 1 plus n varies from 1 to infinity is divergent, and as it is positive term series, so it diverges to infinity, right? This is a positive term series, this quantity is positive, so positive term series either converges or diverges to plus infinity. So this quantity, this series diverges to plus infinity. Okay, now this series is convergent or oscillates between finite limits, so it is not divergent, but the difference of two series is divergent and diverges to plus infinity, right? See, here it is negative sign and the overall series diverges to plus infinity. That means what? The series summation log of 1 plus n must diverge to minus infinity. Diverge to minus infinity, okay, because this is divergent to plus infinity and here it is minus sign, so this series must diverge to minus infinity. Okay, and it implies that product log of product 1 plus an, n varies from 1 to infinity, diverge to minus infinity. Okay, log of product is summation of log, right? Is it clear now? Log of product, log of a into b is log of a plus log of b. So summation of logarithm is log of the product, diverges to minus infinity, and it implies that product 1 plus an, n varies from 1 to infinity, diverges to log of this diverges to infinity. So this product diverges to exponential minus infinity, which is 0, and hence this product is divergent to 0. So is it clear that if summation n square is divergent and this series is convergent or oscillates between finite limits, then the product diverges to 0. Okay, so in all the theorem which we did for the convergence of infinite product, let us revise all these, because for numerical problems we have to remember all these things. First, if an is non-negative after converting the factors of the product into the form 1 plus n, okay, then the series summation an and the product 1 plus n both converge or diverge together. Second, which we did in this case, minus 1 less than an less than equal to 0. I converted that expression into this form. If 0 is less than equal to an less than 1, then the series summation n converges implies product converges. It diverges implies the product diverges to 0. Okay, here product is 1 minus n. As I have not taken this type of expression, I have taken this type of expression. So product is converted into 1 minus n. Okay. The third theorem which we did is that if summation n square is convergent, then summation n convergent implies the product convergent, diverges to infinity, product diverges to infinity, diverges to minus infinity, product diverges to 0. And the last which we did recently, just that summation n square is divergent but summation n is either convergent or oscillates between finite limit, then this product diverges to 0. That's all which we did in the previous theorems. These points you have to remember for numerical problems. Okay, in my next lecture we shall be doing the absolute convergence of infinite product. Okay, so till then keep watching my YouTube channel and please like and subscribe it.